My name is Diane Bigler, and it is my pleasure to have you joining us in this recording. This is a 3-hour recording where we will be looking at some of the dynamics that are relevant to LGBTQ elders. We're also going to spend some time looking at ways in which you as a care provider can support older adults that are within this particular community. There are also some handouts that go along with this training, and I will be pulling those up on the screen as we discuss them. So you'll see me switching out of the presentation back and forth in between the handouts and the PowerPoint. There's also a few videos, so you'll see that there will be a few videos playing during the training as well. So I've spent about 25 years in the mental health field, and I've worked with a variety of different populations, including older adults, and I've worked with older adults that are within the LGBTQ plus community. And this is a topic that we are finding is more and more important for us as providers, whether you are a social worker, a counselor, a psychologist, any other role that is in support of individuals as a care provider. We know that this topic is important. We also know that LGBTQ older adults have largely been invisible until recently. And there is a growing sense of wanting to share who they are and wanting to be recognized for who they are. We also know that there are often challenges that are faced within this particular population. We're going to be getting into those in our time together here as well. This is the direction that we are going to be going in. We're going to be identifying key considerations of inclusion and look at the experiences of LGBTQ plus older adults. We're going to discover methods of supporting LGBTQ plus older adults, and then explain at least 3 recommendations in practice and clinical recommendations that are best for us to consider, and some approaches in working with a client who identifies within the community. So let's get started by first talking about healthy aging. We know that there are a lot of studies about healthy aging. Many of them focus on these 3 areas: body, mind, spirit, and community. And it's important for us to talk about some of the considerations around and for LGBTQ seniors in these areas here. So we know that elders, and by the way, you'll hear me, use terms interchangeably: elder, older adult, senior. Language may be different, but we all basically, using that term or those terms means anybody that is generally above the age of 55 or 60. We're beginning to put into this category. So in terms of body, we know that LGBT elders run a higher risk of certain diseases. This is very interesting. Breast cancer for lesbians, HIV for gay men, and heart disease for all LGBT elders. We also know that these older adults are concerned about sharing their sexual orientation with medical professionals. And that's why we really need to either A, prepare our physicians to be more LGBT friendly, or we need to be able to refer the individuals we're working with to an LGBT friendly physician and clinic and providers. In terms of the mind, when we look at healthy aging and the intersection with this population, we know that memory loss can be caused by changes in mood, depression, and anxiety. The discrimination that this community has faced, both individually, the individual discrimination, and the collective discrimination, we know really puts these individuals within this community at greater risk of mood disorders. There's also a higher rate of alcoholism within the LGBT community. When we look at spirit and community, we know that LGBT elders find purpose in a variety of paths regarding their faith and spirituality. This could be through being creative, volunteering, activism, or some type of social engagement. And then there's research that actually suggests that older adults who engage with others have a feeling of purpose and live longer and healthier lives. Just like with our youth LGBTQ plus population, with our elders, one of the things that we really need to be watching for is isolation. and looking at no matter the age of the individual, but anybody that's within the community feeling like they either have to isolate from others or they really, really want to. And that, in and of itself, as well, could be indicative of some social anxiety or other kinds of mental health challenges. Maybe they're not being accepted by their peers or their neighbors or community members. So, we really want to make sure that we are trying to encourage people within the community to make connections with other people and to not be trying to isolate themselves and cut themselves off.